Hi, welcome to the Phone Arena video review of the Nokia X3 Touch and Type, a Series 40 phone that borrows some more advanced features from higher-end handsets, such as Wi-Fi and a touchscreen, as well as 3G to keep you connected. Let's take a closer look at the phone. The first thing you see is the 2.4-inch touchscreen. This is very responsive. It's a resistive touchscreen, however works very well, especially with grid-based menus. However, when you go into, for example, your phone book, you can scroll endlessly for things, and it's not as smooth as, say, on a capacitive screen, as it would require constant pressure. Nevertheless, it worked overall very well. The screen's 2.4 inches with a resolution of 240 by 360 pixels, and while viewing angles aren't great, for example, it does nevertheless perform well overall, and remaining viewable outdoors, except for in the brightest conditions. Below the screen is the numeric pad. This is a strange 4x4 layout. As you can see, it has a call and end button on the top, as well as a messaging and a music button, below which are your number pads from 1 through to 9, 0, hash, and star. This is awkward for example, predictive text entry, when you need to press the hash and the star buttons for symbols or to change your word. However, we did get used to this after a couple of days. Below this numeric pad is the onboard speaker. This little wedge shape is very nice and adds to the streamlined dimensions of the phone itself. On the back of the phone is a 5 megapixel camera, as well as an anodized aluminium battery cover. On the left hand side is a volume rocker and a lock button. On the right hand side is a battery release, as is on the bottom left hand side. And finally on the top is a micro USB port, 3.5mm headphone jack, and a standard Nokia charging port. Removing the battery cover, as I mentioned, it's a very solid aluminium battery cover, and you'll reveal the battery, SIM card slot, and a micro SD card slot. Our first impressions of the build quality of the handset are very good. It feels solid enough to be durable and last throughout your contract duration, and at the same time is slim and doesn't create too much of a physical imposition in, say, your pocket or your handbag. With the ever familiar Series 40 on board, the Nokia X3 Touch and Type has been optimized for touchscreen input. For example, on the home screen, if you want to change a widget, click on the personalized view, press on the widget, and you can select an alternative. While there aren't all that many, and you can't add new ones, it nevertheless does add a degree of versatility to the phone itself, which is nice. And then, for example, we can just jump straight into a web search, which is very handy. We've got Google set as our operator, but the two choices are Google or Bing. The main menu, as you can see, is all extremely familiar, so we won't go into it too much. However, needless to say, it works very well with the touchscreen input, as everything is optimized size-wise to be very finger-friendly. Go into the menu, and you have a standard calendar, which has once again been optimized for touchscreen sliding. Contacts, which standard Series 40. Music. Well, the music player itself is extremely standard for Series 40, with the addition of the music button on the actual numeric pad, as well as the onboard loudspeaker performing extremely well. We were very impressed with the music playback on the phone. If we actually in fact play a track, we can show you just how loudly the loudspeaker performs as we press play. This is on a very low volume. We can higher it and we can assure you that the quality didn't suffer all that much as the volume went up, which is very rare for a phone of this price range, and in fact for mobiles in general. Going to photos, for example, we can look at photos we've taken, and once we've looked at them, we can even go so far as to make some basic tweaks to them, editing on board, which is very nice. The interface is very quick and simple, and there's no real slowdown, so overall we're very impressed with this. The camera on the Nokia X3 Touch and Type is also good. It's not great, and we're really annoyed it doesn't have a flash, because this would have made its usability that bit more. But having said that, if you're outdoors, you're guaranteed pretty much a good photo in decent lighting, and indoors, not so much. However, it does perform pretty well. Messaging, again, is extremely standard for Series 40, so we won't go into it. However, suffice to say, the email provides native support for Google Mail, Yahoo Mail, MSN Live, for example, and additional support for other mailboxes that will require more information than just your username and password. The onboard browser does an okay job of viewing web pages. It's pretty stuttery and doesn't make for a smooth experience, especially with larger web pages. However, text is wrapped to the page, to the screen, sorry, and it is viewable. One annoyance about the onboard browser is when you're zooming in or out, an annoying pending sign is made apparent, and you have to wait a good couple of seconds before the page is reoriented for the view you want. And then when you zoom in again, pending. This can be quite cumbersome and annoying. Fortunately, however, if we exit the web browser and jump into Opera Mini, which is loaded on board by default, we can go to Phone Arena and you'll see a completely different story. The page is loaded much quicker, with everything being much smoother. You begin with a page overview, and then when you want to zoom in on something, you can do so, and it will take you through it all extremely smoothly. In turn, more so than on perhaps any other phone that we've reviewed, the Nokia X3 Touch and Type really benefits from Opera being on board, and this ended up being our default browser. Additional features on the X3 Touch and Type are the OV Store and the applications on board. So these are all extremely standard to Nokia Series 40. There are a few games as well, including Guitar Hero, which we found quite fun. However, nothing to blow your mind. Overall, we're very fond of the Nokia X3 Touch and Type. It's an entry-level phone to a point, however has very cool features to differentiate it. The Wi-Fi and 3G mean that it's really useful on the go for your email and web browsing, with Opera browser on board making it very usable. And in addition, the touchscreen does add to the whole usability. We're glad Nokia hasn't overloaded the touchscreen with gimmicky features and have kept its uses extremely basic. This works very well and is integrated well with using the numeric pad. Sure, the numeric pad takes some time to get used to, but once you do, we're confident that you'd really enjoy the additional features the Touch and Type has over other handsets in the same price range. For alternatives to the Nokia X3 Touch and Type, you can consider the Sony Ericsson Xylo or the Nokia X3 if you don't need as many connectivity options. For more on this and other handsets, please visit www.phonearena.com.